Hello to all you special unicorns who decided that healing wounded hearts and bashed in skulls will be the way to play in BFA. I'm awesome. In today's video we will be taking a look at how you will set up your UI for maximum efficiency with the least amount of effort, because I too am a lazy piece of shit and can't stand not playing when I log on. We do WoW videos on a daily basis, except on weekends when we go to corporate retreats and brainstorm more ideas on how to suck some more YouTube money. Click that bell thingamajig to get notified when we do stuff, so you will have the glory of being first in the comments. Before I blow my own horn too much, I'm the only one that does it anyway, let's actually get into the action. You can get as many cool add-ons as you like if you have the RAM for it, but I recommend only a few to start off. Deadly boss mods or big wigs will be a default for anyone who wants to do any form of PvE dungeons or raids. It will tell you when shit that matters starts happening, so you can move out of the goddamn fire or prepare your tushies for some intense. This add-on is a set and forget. The second add-on that you will be getting is the details add-on, which is basically your damage meter. You probably have this in one way or another. The details is a little bit better than most, and I personally enjoy it a lot more because you can get easy info on what spells you've used, what they did, how much healing they did, or how much damage they did, and you can essentially track how good your rotation was and your efficiency overall. You can of course see a lot more things. You can essentially see interrupts that have been made. You can essentially see the cooldowns that have been used or haven't been used, buff up times, and so on and so forth. It's really good. When you get it for the first time, you will probably get into the menu options from here. You also have it on the side of your little mini map there, and you can tackle all of these settings as you want. You can make it as pretty as you want. I have two windows, one for damage, one for healing, that I mainly look at. If I want another window, or if let's say you start off with like a blank window, you can essentially choose what you want it to show, damage done, right, and then you can essentially position it at any point in the screen. Now what's cool as well about this add-on is if you can see this, it will try to clip with what you already have if you want to create an additional window, right? So it can actually clip and arrange really nicely, and then you can move them all around. You can make it as big as you want. You can choose, let's see, bars. Generally you can choose how big the bars are. Let's see, let's take a look at the healing one. You can make the bars super big, and then you can make the text of the bar super big and make it look really ridiculous. Or you can make it super small if you are a freak from a different planet. But essentially I go with 20 just because whatever, this is the way my screen is showing me as efficient as possible. And of course you can tweak with all of this stuff, and if you create additional windows that you do not want anymore, you just go to window general. You select the window that you created, which is the third one here. I do not like. Let's see. This would show the interrupt. It would actually show here as interrupt. As you can see, really nice. You click it, you confirm, it will delete the little window for you, and your UI will reload, and so on and so forth. Now this is basically the details. I would highly recommend you try to use it. It's really nice. It gives you a lot of info if you want to learn, if you want to get better, if you want to figure out exactly what you did wrong or what you could have improved on. Use details. Very nice. Now the third add-on, and I actually think this is pretty important just because of how easy it is to use it. I've talked about in the Mouseover guide on healing macros, so that you can heal where your mouse is, where your mouse hovers over the target. You heal that, so instead of actually having to click every little target you want to heal, it's not good, especially in raids. If you're going to be fist weaving like so, you will want to have a target always in your focus, so you can do the damage and fist weave. Wow, look at my damage. Shit, they should nerf monks. You'll be doing this, and you don't want to keep switching to your target to heal, because that is not really efficient, right? So for instance, I will be hitting this guy and I want to heal that guy, and instead of having to click this, I want it to be on Mouseover so I can still hit my target without switching my target. I'm saying target a lot, but that's okay. And the add-on that's going to let us do this is the click add-on, and this is a really good add-on. You can also use Mouseover macros. I've notified that into my Mouseover guide, and you can check that out for the Mouseover macro, or you can simply use click, which is super easy to do. Let's start fresh, right? I obviously had a lot more, but I deleted it just for the sake of this video. So you're going to go into your little spell book, and there are a couple of spells that will require a target from you. Let's see, the first one will be the detox spell. This is so you can dispel the one that has the most stacks, the one that you want to dispel. Maybe there's a priority and you want to dispel a specific target, right? You go, instead of actually checking your actual Mouseover page, you go into the click page. You open it up, make sure that this is open, and you go over the spell. Now you mouse over the spell that you want and you select the keybind that you want that spell to have. And for me, detox is on middle mouse, so I click middle mouse and it will pop there, right? Now what you can do is just leave it as it is, and if you hover over the target frame, it should dispel that way, right? But if you don't, it's probably not going to dispel. Oh, it's dispelling anyway. But if you just hover this way, it will dispel you, right? And let's say you have a target that's right next to you and you want to dispel it with your mouse hover and not just clicking it, you can do something else. You can go back to click, you can right click the spell, you go change binding, nope, you go to options, you go to enable disable binding sets, and you can choose hover cast binding. And what this does is, let's say I don't have that guy targeted, but if I hover my mouse, boom, it dispels. And you can do this with all the spells. You don't have to hover over the unit frame. You can just hover over the target that you want. Although unit frames will be a little bit better, and we will get into those a little further down the video. And of course you want to do this with all of them. And the keybinds, the spells that I want you to keybind, and I highly recommend you do this, are the following. So we got Enveloping Mist. For me is on Q on my keyboard, key binding, key action bar, whatever. I'm pressing Q, right? That's what I want. What's the next one? Essence Font is not a targetable spell, it just heals everybody around you. Fortify Improve, it's not. Chi-Ji is not either. Life Cocoon is, and for me Life Cocoon is on this keybind here. For me this is numpad 2, keybind to my mouse, so I'm just gonna hover over that and press numpad 2, and boom, it shows up there. What else we have? Paralysis. I usually don't keybind paralysis that much, just because it's very important, and if for targets that I want to paralysis and I want to make sure that I'm processing the right one, I actually target those. This is the only exception. You can keybind this as well if you want. I don't. I'm keeping it as it is. Let's see. Renewing Mist, very important. For me, it's the key 1 on my keyboard. I'm pressing 1. Soothing Mist is G for me, so I'm pressing G. You press whichever button you want. And let's see. Ring of Peace, I don't keybind that. And what else? Nothing here. We're missing Vivify. There we go, Vivify. And this is essentially it. You don't need a lot, you just need the spells that you need to target a person with, need to be keybind. And now that we're done, let's see. If I just do this, it heals myself. And let's see, I kind of need somebody in my party. Do I have anybody in my party? No, but we can do something cool. So I'll show you in a second how they actually work on the raid frames. You'll have the frames on your screen and you just hover the mouse over like so. So let's say I target that one. If I don't hover my mouse over anything, it will essentially heal the target dummy, right? But if I hover my mouse over my frame, as you can see, I light up a little bit, and this works with all of the party members or raid members. I press Vivify and it will heal me. And it will heal the target because it has Renewing Mist, but let's do it one more time, and boom, it heals me. So that's essentially how it works, regardless of what target you have. So if I'm going to Fist Weave on this fool right here, but I want to heal myself, right? Let's say I am a different party member, I just heal myself, boom, and I keep hitting him without having to deselect and select the target that you want to heal. And this is how good click is. And of course, depending on what healer you play, this doesn't have to be specific for monk. You can adapt it for, let's say, druid has rejuvenations, you can do that. Priest has please and shields, and whatever priest has, you do that for the priest as well. And you can do this for all of the classes. It doesn't even have to be a healer. If you're playing paladin, if you're playing red paladin, like Marcelian does, you can essentially use this for things as Bop or Freedom or stuff like that. Of course, PvP works a little bit different, but let's say if you're in a raid environment, that could also be helpful as well. Now, the next add-on that I'll be taking a look at is the WeakAuras add-on. Now, if you've ever tried to use WeakAuras, you probably know that it is a big add-on with a lot of stuff going on. Now, I don't want to get into too much details about WeakAuras because you can essentially find WeakAuras settings online from people around the world. They put their own WeakAuras. Some people have it really nicely made up, some people have it really organized. I don't. Personally, I only want to use one WeakAuras on my monk. I haven't used them so far, but you can do a lot of things. So for the sake of the video, I'm going to show you how you can set it up. So install WeakAuras, and once you install, you simply type /WA, and it opens up this window. And of course, if you have WeakAuras already, you'll see like a list of all your shit I have for different classes. Now, for the sake of the video, I'm going to make something specific for Mouseover Monk, and as you can see, I have a group here. You can essentially create a group. Let's see, new, and you have group, and you create a group and you name it my class. You can name it whatever you want. If you play more than one character and if you have more WeakAuras, I highly recommend you keep them organized because it's going to be a lot of crowded information here, right? But I already have one for monk, so I don't care about this. I'm going to delete this, yes. I'm going to go to Mouseover, right? This is a group where I can put a lot of stuff in. So let's say one of the most important, and if you have to use WeakAuras for one thing, I would recommend you use it for renewing mist. This is probably the most important thing that you need to keep track of because it's core to your AoE healing. And the more you're good at spreading this renewing mist to everybody, the more you're going to heal and save up mana, because as the game is currently, it's not as much as how much heal you can put out, but how your mana efficiency is. I've seen people go over 20k healing and have no mana by the time the boss reached 50% HP. That's not how you want to do it. So you want to be as efficient, and renewing mist is what efficiency is. So let's see. You're going to create a new button. So once you click new, you'll have a list here where you want an icon for renewing mist, right? We're going to name it renewing mist. Okay. Now, the first thing that you want to do is you want to set a trigger for it. What does this button do? Right now, it's just a question mark. You can move it around the screen where you want it. I want it to be right there. And right now, it's nothing, right? But you want it to do something, right? So we're going to go in the trigger section, and you'll have this little scroll thingy. You press the little scroll thingy, and it will give you a list very easy as to what you want to do. We want to track the cooldown of renewing mist. I want to see when it comes off cooldown so that I know to spam it so I don't cap on stacks, because it does have 2 stacks. So I'm going to go to abilities, and you'll see the class abilities that you have. This is for Mouseover Monk. You'll see the appropriate one for your class. Click on renewing mist. Now, there's 2 types of triggers that you can put mainly. You have the basic show on cooldown, which only shows the aura when the ability is on cooldown, or you can also always shows the aura, turns gray on 0 charges, blue on insufficient resources. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to select charge tracking because it does have charges. And we're going to replace any and all existing triggers that this currently has, just to make it clean so we don't have any complications. And now it shows my renewing mist. If you leave it as it is, it will show like that. And if you spend those charges, it will turn gray. And you can track, you can make the charge number be greater so it's bigger, so you can see it bigger. And you can make all of those changes from the display section. You have text, you can make it big like that. Ooh, let's just say 50, right? Just because I have a strong OCD. And now you can see I have 2 charges of it. So for renewing mist, I just recommend you can of course make any change that you want. I would recommend you leave it as it is. See the charges. When it's gray, it's fine. It's good to be gray. When it starts to color up and you see, ooh, I have 1 charge, you ideally want to spend that 1 charge so that you are efficient and keep it off on cooldown. This is essentially how you want to do it. And this is for renewing mist, right? But let's say you have more general spells like cooldowns, like Life Cocoon or Invoke Chi-Ji, the Red Crane, right? Now, those are pretty similar as well. You're gonna go to new again. We're in the Mouseover Monk group. Don't forget about that. And we're going to go to new. we're going to go to icon, and let's say we want life cocoon. We want to track life cocoon to see when it comes off cooldown so that we know it's ready, so we don't have to constantly look at the bars, right? This is why we want to do WeakAuras. And again, only show the aura when the ability is on cooldown. We're going to select this one because it doesn't have any charges. We're just going to select this one, right? Replace all triggers, and now we have life cocoon, okay? Now, as a default setting, it will just not show at all. And when you use it, it will pop on your screen. But that's not what I want to know. I want to know when it's off cooldown so that I know it's available for me to use it. So, let's see, we haven't named this yet, so we're going to go with life cocoon. Okay, and now if you go to the trigger, it basically says it will show when it's on cooldown. So when you use it, it will pop on your screen. I would recommend you choose this to not on cooldown. So now, oops, you might want to readjust the position of this. There we go. So now when it's not on cooldown, it shows on my screen. So this way I know it's available. I don't have to keep track of the little icons things. I don't have to keep track of anything else. It's big there, it's simple. One quick glance, half a second, I know that it's ready for me to use it. And when I use it, boom, it goes away. So it's not there. So right now I'm healing, I'm enjoying my monk time, and I see life cocoon is not there. Then I know it's on cooldown, and I say, hey guys, I don't have life cocoon, deal with your shit, right? And we do the same for the rest. So let's say we want to do the same for invoke GG. We're going to create a new one, and this is the last one that I'm showing. And abilities again, where is it? Invoke GG, the red crane, basic show on cooldown, replace triggers, and we switch. It's also going to take you automatically to this screen. We switch to not on cooldown, and again GG will not show here. Oh, it will show, I'm sorry, it's in the middle of the screen. It will show because it's ready for me to use it. And I pop it, little crane starts healing everybody. Yeah, you're fucking fast, man. And it goes away. So this is how I know what cooldowns are available for me and what cooldowns are not available for me. And of course you can take this let's see, GG. You can take this to more in-depth customization. You can choose to show as a bar, you can choose to show text, you can choose to make it glow. You can explore all of these options, but if you just want to set it up quick, if you just want to set it up fast, this is how you do it, this is how I recommend you do it. And now you can essentially have your whole group, you can move it around. Once you have, let's say, there we go. If you click these little buttons, it will show you all of them, so you can, let's say, adjust them accordingly to each other. And now I want these to show right here above my face, and this is how you set up your UI. And as you can see, life cocoon came off cooldown, now it shows there, so I know it's ready to use. And boom, these are simple WeakAuras. You can of course expand on this a lot more, and if you want to set up your own, you can do so. I would recommend getting to know your own WeakAuras and set it up yourself, because you know exactly what you have. You can of course import them from other people and use whatever they have. And if you want to import WeakAuras from other people, let's say I will make this a little string just for your enjoyment, and I will post it in the description below. And if you want to import it, you go to new, you go to import, and you copy here the string for the WeakAura, then you hit done, and then it will show and it will load on your screen. You click import again, and it will automatically show exactly how the person who created it made it to look like. And this is WeakAuras. It's a little bit simple once you get to know it. It has a lot of options, but don't let that distract you, and don't let that discourage you from using it. It's really good, it's really efficient, it's easy on the eyes, especially if you have to take a look, if you have to keep notice of a lot of things going around you. This will make it easier, because the basic UI is very crowded with a lot of colors, a lot of numbers. It takes a little bit longer for you to notice if something is off cooldown. This is a lot easier and makes you react a lot faster to what's going on. And essentially this is for the actual WeakAuras UI. Now that we have our WeakAuras, we have our hover mouse acro, it's time for us to do something. So let's quickly hop into a random heroic and heal. And in the heroic I will show you, actually no, let's do a raid actually, because it will be a little bit more helpful that way. So ooh, we have the second wing now. So I'm gonna queue for the LFR as a raid, and I will show you how you can set up your raid frames so that you can easily access people who are in the raid and heal them without having to either look for them around you or look for them in the big UI that will probably show up on the left side for most of you guys. Now, before we actually hop into the raid, let's take a look at the raid frames. You can get add-ons for these as well. I don't think you need them. Actually, the default raid frame is really good. Blizzard has done a really good job at making it really nice and helpful to use. So, to set up your raid frame, because a lot of you guys have been asking about this, you'll go to the menu, you'll go to interface, and you will go to raid profiles. Now, by normal, let's see, it will probably show, if you have like a new profile, you'll have profiles here. It'll probably show like this, right? Now, I want to create a specific profile for healing, and I want my raid frames to show when I'm in a raid. So I use raid style party frames. This is if you want them to show in once you're in a party as well. You can use them to activate them whenever you're in your party. I recommend you do this as well if you want to heal dungeons. It works. And I want it to only be active for Mouseover, PvP PVE. I want to display power bars. Do I as a healer? Maybe if you want to track the mana of your other healers so that you know when they're close to getting display class colors. Yes, I would recommend you tick this because it will help you see who's who. And looks like we got a queue. And you can adjust the size, and we'll go into that in a second. Let's go into the raid because we actually need the frames, so we actually need to be in a group for this. Let's just wait for all of the fools to accept. No, somebody declined. Damn DPSers. Looks like we're gonna get it in a second again. Now you can adjust the height and the width of each individual frame to your liking, depending how big your screen is. And once you have all of these selected, you will have your profile. And whenever you want to switch specs, for instance, I do Brewmaster sometimes as well. I don't want my raid frames to be in the middle of the screen, which will be for me when I'm healing. I like them to be in the middle. It's easily accessible and I can see who needs healing really quick. But I don't want that to happen when I'm tanking or when I'm DPSing, right? So you just have profiles. This is my default profile. I have it as it is when I'm healing. If you want, you can copy these exact same settings. Height, width, this depends on my monitor because it's an average sized monitor. So this is what I have. And I'll show you how they will work when we're actually in a group. So let's just wait for those damn fools to accept. Okay, looks like we got another one. Are we going to get into the raid this time? Huh? Now, of course, this also helps if you're fist weaving. That you don't have to fist weave. Fist weave is good. I like it because most of the times it's boring. But this is how your raid frames will probably look once you go in, right? So what you want to do is you want to unlock the raid frame, and you'll get this little thing, and you can adjust it to how you want it to show, right? And this is with the default screen. You can leave it as it is. I personally want it a little bit bigger, so I will adjust, let's see, the height, a little bit too much, kind of like that, and the width a little bit more, kind of like that. Let's say we're keeping it like that. We're gonna move it right here, and we're gonna go back here, and we're going to lock it. Of course, you can do this. If you run bigger raids, you can adjust it as you want. Let's say we're keeping like that, and we're going to lock them. There we go. Now we're at talent. And I just press my healings. Let's see if we get in range. And you can see I have a little renewing mist icon there, so I know who's who. And I want to heal that guy. And look, it's already healing him. And there we go. The raid started, and we're just gonna heal. Start off with an easy AoE. I don't even know if I have the fist weaving talent. I do not have the fist weaving talent, so I won't be fist weaving this game. That means that I will have my Jade statue that I need to replace GG with. As you can see, if you don't have the talents that give you the cooldowns, I don't have GG anymore because I've switched to the statue. It goes away, so you don't need to worry about having icons perpetually on your screen. Now, you want to make sure the tanks have renewing mist and that the AoE healing is done. As you can see, we're healing everybody, just hovering my mouse over everybody that needs healing, and so on and so forth. I just need to do the mechanics. Do I need to do the mechanics? This is a LFR. Okay, I'm taking a lot of damage. Make sure that I have heals on me. Boom, healing myself. Other people are healing me as well. Renewing Mist, again, 1 stack. Gotta put it there. And keeping people off. Make sure you use the appropriate spells, like I've taught you guys, yeah? Renewing Mist again, easy to follow, right? Let's see, will these guys ever be in danger enough for me to use Cocoon? But let's see, okay, we have this tank, right? This guy right here. But I'm not targeting him, right? I'm just targeting the boss. But I want him to get my life cocoon. So I just hover my mouse, boom, press life cocoon. He has life cocoon, there we go. It's right there, see that? He has life cocoon. And this is essentially how the click add-on works with the interface. It all comes down together, guys. It all comes down together in a smooth, harmonious fashion, right? And as you can see, the damage meter as well. I'm currently shit because I'm talking, but I don't care. I have done most of my damage with Essence Font, then Vivify, then Renewing Mist, and so on. We have this try-hard druid over here that has done most of it with Tranquility. How skillful, Tranquility, haha. But if I actually take my time to heal, my numbers will probably go up because this is most likely still LFR. Plus, people are essentially just not taking enough damage for me to heal, so I'm just overhealing at the moment. So there's actually, I don't think this even counters the overhealing, which is actually really nice because you cannot, let's say, heal whore the DPS meter to look good when you're actually not. I'm putting the Renewing Mists, and you will ideally want to Vivify the target that does not have Renewing Mist. Let's say we got that little thing over there. Get pushed back. Ooh, he's not getting pushed back off the ledge. Interesting. Interesting LFR mechanics, guys. Oh, got pushed off. Alright. What was that supposed to happen? I don't think that happened on the actual raid, though. And just gonna reactivate my statue on the tank. Spread. Renewing Mist. Okay, looks like somebody's taking some deeps. I took some deeps. Healing myself. Spreading. Ooh, someone died. Gotta heal that guy. Heal it quick. Heal it quick. There we go. I am spamming Essence Font a little bit more because, well, it's preemptive, but ideally you don't want to. You want to conserve mana. And we're healing. As you can see, I am a fairly good healer. Also, detox as well. Certain things that can be detox, they usually show up on the UI. Not all of them, but most things, poisons and essentially diseases and magic, you can detox and make sure that your party is nice and healthy. And this is it, guys. Essentially, this is pretty much it. It's fairly easy. It's really quick. It'll take you about 10 minutes maybe to set it up, and makes things so much smoother for you to heal. So much easier. Ooh, look at that guy. Okay, we can cocoon that guy. There we go. We cocooned. See, we're good. We're good healers. That guy's taking damage. That guy's taking damage. And boom, we're done. There you go. This is, ooh, I got a recipe. Oh shit! Rank 3. Sweet. There we go. We're not gonna use coin here. And this is it, guys. I hope this was very helpful for you. I hope it gets you healing and you do that sweet healing without missing anything. And if you like it, please hit me up with a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it, and we both would like to know what you guys think of this whole thing. Do you use the same UI? Do you use Grid? Because I've heard people use Grid for user interface. And if you do have any issues with setting this up, hit us up in the Discord channel. We answer fairly quickly, and I can actually help you and see exactly what your problem is, since we can actually share screenshots in Discord. And yeah, well, peace.